That's a big difference between petrol and electric, that's for sure. Crikey O'Reilly. There is a romance associated with having a petrol car. I guess there is. I'm not sure. Most 5th scale folk would say that there is. But there's also a lot of suffering. Right, well, we've got a small field out in front of us here for the first run. Just take a temp gun, running 6S. No idea how this is going to pan out. This is the very first run. I have not run this car before. I've never run an electric car this size before. I've never run an electric car with 2 motors and 2 ESCs before. I have plenty of boats but not cars. So let's find out how she runs. Servo saver is super loose, not really allowing the steering to work properly. Let me have a quick look at it, see if I can do it up from the side. No chance. So we'll just have to deal with it. But just have a quick look at temps. I know that was only really short, but there's absolutely no temperature on that motor. And there's no temperature on that motor. There's nothing cooking on that ESC, and there's nothing cooking on that ESC. So no mechanical fighting, I don't think. Suspension, oh, there is tons of power though. That's about as fast as your average 30cc 5th scale goes on 6S. I had a blast with it in the garden at home as well, actually. Steering is getting worse and worse, so I've obviously got it's just that silly servo saver. There's nothing. The motors aren't even, it's like I'm not even turned them on. It is like I've not even turned them on. Just going to put my hand in there and use my hand to double check what the temp gun is telling me. Yeah, nothing. So this is 2 6S. 5,000 milliampere hour zippy battery packs. The grass is pretty long, and as you can see, it's quite happy. It's quite happy to dig trenches. Yep, quite happy to dig a trench or two. There's a lot of grass cutting going on here. I know you can't see it properly in the film, but I'm kind of driving it like I stole it, because I mean, if you're going to shake something down, you've got to shake it down, right? I'll bring it in now for a temp check. Oh yeah, that steering is getting worse and worse. Brakes are all right though. I'm just going to stick my hand in. Got a bit of grass in ESCs. All sorts going on. So ESCs are not even warm. Electric motors. Oh, I can't get my hand out of the bloody body now. The motors aren't even... motors are slightly warm to touch is the best way I can describe it, and I am giving it loudy, so that's the difference between electric and petrol. You do naturally with electric want to give it loudy, because I must admit there's no ambience of the sound of your motor, sound of your engine whirring away. Anyway, so this is 6S on an 8S system. It feels, I must admit, a lot lighter than a petrol car, and the balance forward and aft, front and back, seems to be better than your average petrol car. There's a lot of trench digging. Someone isn't going to come out here and give me loudy for the holes that we're putting in. Steering is shocking. Motors have warmed up to probably, I don't know, 25 degrees. That is a ton of power. I gotta be honest, that is power like I haven't experienced in 5th scale ever. Not that I've been in it very long. That is brutal. That is brutal power. And actually, these batteries, I know them from my boat driving. Oh dear. Would you Adam and Eve it? Blinking wheels falling off. That's not much fun, is it? I think the wheel hubcap's just come off. chings. Maybe I didn't tighten them up. Well, we'll leave that there, because unlike a petrol car, I don't have to worry about it idling. And we'll try and find the hubcap, and I'll come back in a minute when I've found the hubcap, I think. Right, well, all I've done, guys, is realise that I didn't have any of the wheel nuts done up more than hand tight from the build. So I found the other one in the grass. I've done them all up tight. I went to put in my two 8S battery sets, but realised that I didn't have my Y leads, which is annoying. But I did have a small toolkit with me, so I did take the top plate off and tighten up the steering servo saver. So I'm pretty close to LVC on these 6S lipos, I think. So I'm going to run it with the top off and just check that that the steering is better, because it was atrocious before. So we'll see that, because I don't really want to do too many upgrades to this. I just want to run what I brung. But sorry, I was going to show you 8S, which could have been quite lively, but anyway, you'll have to make do with 6, which ain't bad. That's ridiculous. Actually, the amount of power it's producing on 6S is absolutely plenty, and now the steering is actually working. I'm actually going to do some tuning on the ESCs as well, and put the BEC up to 8 something volts for the steering servo, which should give it a bit more grunt. That thing just is digging trenches. It really is. Do a quick temp check. The motors are doing nothing. It's doing nothing. The grass is quite long here. It's a heavy car. They're doing absolutely no work whatsoever. I love the way it just digs these trenches out. Oh, that's LVC. So that wasn't bad runtime either. I've been here for about 20 minutes and I've been absolutely sticking it. Absolutely sticking it. So that's LVC, and also it's quite nice the way it's kind of, oh no, now it's totally run out. But anyway,
signal lost.
Well, for a first run, I gotta say I'm super stoked with that. We're going to go home and I'll go home and check it over. I think there might be a few leaks on the new shocks. I kind of like it running a little lower to the ground, to be honest. The whole thing is really low anyway. As you can see from that angle, the centre of gravity on this thing is awesomely low. It's not going to roll over easily. Steering sucks. Steering was awful. But then it's all the plastic steering parts, I guess. I'm going to put the BEC for that steering servo up a little to try and make it a bit better. But yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm pretty pleased. It's super simple. I mean, the beauty of brushless over petrol is there's no noise pollution whatsoever. You run it wherever you like. There's 2 guys working in a building over there, and I don't think they even know I'm here. They're going to know I'm here in a minute with the 45. But the beauty is that it just runs. It works. It works every time. Now I'm going to fire up the 45, and I genuinely don't know if I've properly fixed the throttle sticking issue and if I've fixed the air leak on the intake issue. So, you know, this is less romantic, but there's something to be said for it for sure. And the power is amazing. Power is amazing. Anyway, that's it. Peace.